Let's turn our attention to what's going on mostly in the Midwest with the Big Ten. Finally made a decision. I'm not sure what's different about it today than it was a month or two ago, but they've come to the decision that the season's going to start the weekend of October 24th. It'll be an 8-game conference-only regular season, all-inclusive championship week at the weekend of December 29th. Players who test positive for COVID-19 must wait 21 days before returning. If the team's positive testing rate exceeds 5%, the team must pause practice and competition for 7 days. D-Man, is this worth it, getting it all back here?
I say it is worth a shot. Look, when the Big Ten first decided this, I'm pretty sure that the conference presidents, commissioner, and the whole ball of wax, all the big wigs in the conference. What's that, Les?
Go ahead.
Well, I think they thought that the other dominoes would fall. All right. Well, the Pac-12 domino fell, but then it stopped there. And the SEC, ACC, and Big 12 said, we're going to proceed. Well, once you start to see games on television and you're seeing them, Brigham Young playing Navy and Army's playing, and Clemson gets on the board with a game, and North Carolina's playing Syracuse. I mean, all of a sudden you go, wait a minute, why aren't the Big Ten and Pac-12 playing? And I get that there are COVID issues. There's no question about it. It's going to be difficult to navigate this. But I think the Big Ten felt pressure, not only from within, but from without. And I also want to say this, Les. I think the potential lawsuit that Nebraska was filing, maybe it already did file it, but at least it was going to go to a certain level. I think that might have scared the Big Ten officials a little bit, because in those types of lawsuits, you can demand answers as to why you shut something down or why you canceled something. And I don't know that the Big Ten was really ready to do that. So they said, let's reconsider it. And now here we are.
And the pressure was put on them at that point. You mentioned you got the COVID issues. You do, but you have other issues here, especially with the Pac-12, between the fires and what's going on in Oregon and Northern California. I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can play football at that point.
I agree with you. I think the Pac-12 is a separate deal because of the environment out west and because of the air quality. I do believe that they have to be looked at in a vacuum here. That just because the Big 10 starts again, that doesn't automatically mean the Pac-12 is going to, because they have an added layer of extenuating circumstances that are very, very, very difficult to deal with. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Pac-12 remains sidelined. But in terms of the Big Ten, I appreciate the effort to at least give it a shot. I think that part of my optimism comes from the fact that the NFL, evidently through week 1, has done a pretty darn good job of regulating their COVID response or their COVID proactive measures. Obviously, the NBA has done a bang-up job in Disney, and the hockey's done an excellent job in their hubs. And then, oh, by the way, MLB, much maligned Major League Baseball, 30 venues. Yes, they got off to a really ragged start, but the last 3 or 4 weeks, knock on whatever, they've been able to keep the positive test rate way down to minuscule levels. So my optimism comes from the fact that other sports have been pulling this off. Let's see what happens with college football.
All right, let's